friends, welcome back to another cooking video. In today's video, I am going to be sharing 5 slow cooker meals that are super delicious. My entire family loved all of them, and I hope that you and your family do as well. What better way to warm up at this cold time of year than from the inside out? Without further ado, let's whisk up some magic in the kitchen. First up, we're going to be making butternut squash soup. This is super creamy and super delicious. So we're going to start with a 2-pound butternut squash and 1 yellow onion. Just chop them. And then over to our slow cooker, we are going to add in our squash and our onion along with all of these seasonings. It's a 1/2 teaspoon ground ginger, 1/2 teaspoon cumin, 1/2 teaspoon coriander, 1/2 teaspoon paprika, a pinch of cayenne, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, and 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. And of course, we need some vegetable broth. I am using this whole box, which equals 4 cups of vegetable broth and 1/4 cup of coconut milk. Once everything is mixed well, cover it up and cook on high for 4 hours or low for 8 hours. Now we're going to use an immersion blender. If you do not have an immersion blender, you can totally just put this in a regular blender and do it that way. I wound up putting in another 1/4 cup of coconut milk because I love that taste. Give it a really good mix. I topped mine with, of course, a little bit more coconut milk and some sunflower seeds because I was out of pumpkin seeds. So I did what I had to do, but it was delicious. Next up, we're going to be making beef ragu. This is so delicious. It really sticks to your ribs and just warms you up from the inside out. So we're going to start by dicing up 1 stalk of celery, 2 carrots, 1 yellow onion, and 5 cloves of garlic you're going to mince. Now, I love my slow cooker so much because it comes out and it goes right on the stovetop, so I'm going to sear my meat. Now, I did order a chuck steak, but this is what Instacart sent me, so I had to make do with what I had. It's always a good idea to sear your steak before you actually slow cook it. It just adds a lot of flavor. So now we are going to add in our onions, our carrots, and our celery into the pan that we just seared our meat in with a little bit of salt and pepper. Cook that for about 4 minutes until everything is tender. Then add in your garlic, and I am using fresh thyme here. And the best way to take these off of the stem is just sliding your fingers down. And I've got about a teaspoon of fresh thyme, and I've got about 3 tablespoons of tomato paste. Give that a good stir. Now for some extra flavor, I am adding in 1 bay leaf, and I'm going to add in a whole cup of red wine. This is really what gives it that richness. That flavor is so good when you slow cook red wine. If you've never tried it before, it is definitely time to try it. Then I have a 28-ounce can of petite diced tomatoes. I got the Italian style because why not? Give it a good mix, and then we are going to just pop this right into our slow cooker. It is so convenient. I love this slow cooker. If you are interested in it, I will have it linked below. Now, we are going to cook this low and slow for 6 hours, and it's important that you cook this on low because you want to make sure that that meat is super tender. Like I said, I totally would have used the chuck roast, but this is what they sent me, so I had to make this work. I'm just going to make sure I take out that bay leaf and shred all of the beef, and then we're going to just add it right back into the slow cooker. Now we're just going to make some egg noodles. I use these extra wide ones, and I just cooked them and served the sauce right over it and topped it with a little cheese and parsley. This was a delicious slow cooker meal. Now we are making chicken and dumplings, and I am telling you, this is one of my favorite recipes. It is so comforting. So we're going to start by dicing up 1 yellow onion and 2 stalks of celery. To my slow cooker, I'm going to put in 4 tablespoons of butter along with the celery and the onion, and I have about a cup of baby carrots here and 4 cups of diced chicken breast. And then I have 2 cans of condensed cream of chicken soup. And we're going to put in 1 cup of water. You don't need that much liquid in this because it is cooked low and slow. So we are going to put in about a teaspoon of fresh thyme as well. Give that a good mix until everything is really well combined. Cover it up and cook it for 4 hours on high or 6 hours on low. Once it is almost ready, we're going to make the dumplings. So it is 2 cups of Bisquick, a half a cup of shredded cheddar cheese, 1 teaspoon of fresh thyme, and 1 cup of whole milk. Now we're just going to mix this up. It's going to turn into a dough, and a good tip for when you're rolling these is to keep your hands wet. This way the dough doesn't stick to your hands. Just kind of roll them into about 6 balls and put them on top. I put another half a cup of shredded cheese on top. And after 30 minutes, this is what it comes out like. I'm telling you guys, this is a delicious meal. Next up, we're going to be making this delicious honey garlic chicken. This is truly an all-in-one dump and go dinner. So we're going to start by slicing up 1 yellow onion and mincing 3 cloves of garlic, and we're going to make the sauce. So you're going to add in the garlic along with a tablespoon of brown sugar, a tablespoon of Dijon mustard, and also we've got 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. This really ups that flavor. And I've got 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, a third a cup of sweet Thai chili sauce. This is actually from Walmart if you want to see the brand. It is really, really good if you haven't tried it. And then a half a cup of honey. A little tip, all you have to do to get that honey out easier is just oil it up with a little bit of olive oil and it slides right out. Now give it a good mix. Now over to our slow cooker, we are just going to place in 6 of our chicken thighs. Chicken thighs is just super flavorful in this dish, along with the sauce and the onions, and just mix that so the sauce is all over everything. And then I have a pound of baby red potatoes. If you are using like a regular red potato, I suggest cutting them into quarters, but just give that a good mix, and we're going to cook this on high for 4 hours. Now these next 2 steps are completely optional, but I love to broil these. Be very careful when you're taking them out, but I love broiling them because it just gives it a better look and it's delicious. So I am going to also use a little bit of a cornstarch slurry to thicken up the sauce as well, and another reason why I love this slow cooker. And yeah, this is how it came out. It was super delicious and all in one meal, and the whole family loved it. For our final slow cooker meal, I am making lasagna soup. And this is just such a good Italian classic. We just love this soup. So we're going to start by dicing up 1 red bell pepper, 1 yellow onion, shred 2 carrots, and then mince 3 cloves of garlic. Now here I have my mixture of 1 pound of ground beef and a half a pound of ground sausage. Now we're just going to season this with 2 teaspoons of garlic powder and 2 teaspoons of onion powder, and just give it a good mix until everything is nice and well combined. Now over to our pot. If you don't have the slow cooker, totally fine. You could just use a pot and transfer it over. But again, I can't tell you how much I love this slow cooker enough. So anyways, we are going to brown our meat and drain it. Then you're going to add in your vegetables and cook for about 5 minutes or until everything is nice and tender, along with some salt and pepper. Once everything is nice and cooked, we're just going to go ahead and pop that right into our slow cooker, along with 28 ounces of crushed tomatoes. I have a 15-ounce can of tomato sauce, as well as a 15-ounce can of petite diced tomatoes. I am using the Italian kind again. And then I've got 2 cups of fresh mushrooms. If you don't like mushrooms, you don't have to add them. This is just what I had and I had to use up in my kitchen. And then I have a handful of fresh basil. I'm just going to throw this in there just like it is because I will be removing it at the end. And then add in your seasonings, which is just a little salt and pepper, and of course, we need some red wine in this, so I'm using a half a cup of red wine and 4 cups of beef broth. Now give all of that a really good stir until everything is nice and well combined. Cover it up and cook it on high for 4 hours. Now about 15 minutes before your soup is ready, we are just going to boil up some lasagna noodles. I cracked them so they are nice and bite-sized pieces. Then I am actually going to add in 2 cups of spinach as well. I didn't want to add these too early because it would have just got really dark and not delicious looking, so that's why I waited. And I put in some Parmesan cheese. All of these steps are obviously optional. I want you guys to get creative and make it your own. Now we're going to add in our lasagna noodles. Give this a really good mix. I topped mine with some mozzarella and some ricotta and some fresh basil, and this was a winner. So that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I have so many more recipes on my channel, so hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss anything else. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.